Hello, my name is Ken Lasselson. I wrote the Microbiome prescription website. This video is about uploading a report from Xenogene, which is a lab in Spain. The first thing you want to do, because the report is not a CSV file, it's a PDF file. And fortunately, I have the skills of writing code to take apart a PDF file and get the useful things from, provided the format is one I have deciphered. So here is an example of a recent one which I have used for testing and it still works. So you'll get a nice little title page. You'll go down, you get a bunch of things. About page 4 is where we hit the meat, which is right here where we have all of the different bacteria, the genus, the percentage, reference percentages, etc. Now, note that this is in European, which means you're using commas, not periods. The program is set to use a comma rather than a period for interpretation. And we just go through and it will go and read all of the data through. So first thing to do is just check visually on page 5, make sure it looks something like that. If it does, you should be good. If not, send me the PDF file and I'll see if it is reasonable to be able to import it. Ideal thing is for Xenogene to either enable automatic transfer of data, which other companies do, or at least provide a CSV file, which makes life much easier for me and more assured that next month's changes of the file for them to make it look prettier doesn't break the uploads. Okay, so assuming you have a suitable file, we'll go over to Microbiome prescription. We go to the 16S upload tab, click that, and now we go for additional upload options. Because it's not used that often, it's an additional one. We find here Xenogene, it says problematic. This post deals with it, gives me the background, but if you're using the latest file format, you should be able to upload it easily. Okay, so what you do is put in your name. I'll put in Ken at lasselson.com. The date, I'll do 12/2022, and then I just choose a file. And I have to navigate to where it's high on my PC. There we are, and we want the latest file, which is sitting right here. So this is the file, and let's go back for a second and just show you something. This is file, and as you see by the date, it was one which was sent to me for testing back in November, so it's about 6 weeks old. So hopefully it will match what you have. So we go there. Everything is set up, upload and consent. Now it will spin a while here because it has to take apart the file, insert it in the database, and update and do calculations based on that. So we'll let it spin for a little bit. And the fact that it's spin usually means it's working okay. It's not being an immediate error in uploading. The deciphering may not be 100% complete, but it appears from the testing I've done to be over 99% complete. So the information is adequate for trying to do microbiome manipulation, as in we have a pretty complete picture and we may be missing little bits of data here and there. but that generally at a strain level and not at a higher level. And it's still spinning. As I said, it may take you a bit of a while. It may be good to have a cup of coffee handy with upload. There will be a quick flash on the screen of a page, then it kicks over into the results, and you see my Xenogene here. And if you go down here, you can take a look at the species of the distribution of species there as a beginning. Or you could, if you want to, let's go over to my profile, which is here. You could also go and look at the microbiome tree. And the microbiome tree is generally a handy thing because you can see the indentations here shows how the different names are organized hierarchically. Things like Enterobacter belongs to this family. The names are not progressively down, they change. It's almost like families of nobility. So you can go down there and you hit the whole list if you're interested in one particular one, like for example Lactobacillus. You can go down there and you see Lactobacillus and Lactobacillus, and you can see your number. And over here we have the percentile. Percentile means that 2% of people have the amount you have or less, and 98% has more. So you are basically low on this particular bacteria. Go over to Bifido, and we have the same thing. We can see, and we are the 6th percentile. So that gives you a way to take a look in and just see everything on one screen. Generally, we have at the top the ability to do what set of standards do you want to have it compare against. Box plot is a default. Classic live ranges is another one, and it will re-render. And at that point in time, ta-da! It says I'm not logged in. I'll tell you why. And because I need to go over to my email. Because go over to email, you'll see you should get an email saying successful upload. And what you have is you have a link here. If you click the link, you are now logged into the site. What you have when you do just an upload without logging in, you have a temporary short-term login, which allows you to just take a look at things, but you really want to go over and log in formally or properly, and makes life easier. Now, keep this email, because next time when you log in, just go to it and click yes, or you could go and ask for a new email to be sent by going to the login page and giving your email, and a new email link would be set and the old one would be invalidated. That way you have almost two-factor authentication, but a little less complicated. Okay, so now we can go into changing the microbiome. As you can see, this is my dummy one. There we go, Xenogene. And over here, we have a stack of different ways of figuring out what's wrong. Everybody has different opinions. Simple as that. Different opinions. Nobody knows which one is absolutely right or not able to show that it is the right one. So we have variety one, Jason Howard, which is a naturopath in Australia who lectures on the microbiome. has 15 criteria. You could use his criteria. You could go over and use his criteria from different labs. All of them are what percentage you should have just bacteria without bacteria. So we have a variety of criteria there. We have Xenogene here, which has 372. So if I click that, it will go and flag that, and it says, okay, there's only 8 bacteria in all of your bacteria where there's a problem. Those are the ones which are too high or too low, and it will give you suggestions which are likely, as an increased probability, not a guarantee, increased probability to improve or do it. Always pay attention to remove or decrease, because often these things may be a regular part of your supplement or your diet, and what they are doing, they are encouraging these things to happen. You want to stop encouraging them. You want to shift over where practical. Some cases, some of the stuff you're doing here may be needed for medical reasons, in which case you simply try to reduce them as much as you can, and then over here for suggestions. Where you see this little ruler there, it means if you click that, it will give you a link to show how much you should be taking of a particular item. For example, for inulin, some studies use 24 grams per day, some other studies use 32 grams per day. So, once a teaspoon may not do it, you want to pay attention to dosages using studies and try to match that wherever practical. So that's one. Another way, my usual is to use these 3: standard lab, box whisker, and count-off malt trap. So let's just walk through that quickly. Get suggestions. It opens up in a new window, and 16 bacteria was selected in using standard labs. Box whisker, which is a different way, and if you click here, you'll get an explanation of how we're doing it. It's the statistical method. And we go over and we see we have 47. We have 3 times more bacteria identified as perhaps contributing to whatever your problems are. And last one is the count-off malt trap. And we have 93, double the last one. So we have variety of different assumptions made about what is causing the problem. Assumptions about what makes a amount of bacteria abnormal. And we have calculated them using each one of these assumptions. We don't know which one is right, but what I try to do is saying, okay, we don't know what is right, but what we can do is we can do these or additional ones and then reach a consensus. This is also sometimes called a Monte Carlo simulation. We don't know which one, so we try all the likely candidates and then aggregate them, and then you can just click View Basket Consensus, and voila, we have the consensus. Now we have 4 different set of things, and 4 of them all saying that the thing that is most likely to help is fasting. You may not want to fast, or you may not be able to fast. You may have a problem with blood sugar or something else. Then go on to item number 2, inulin. Okay, go and take inulin. This one is a Chinese herb, which also would help. It's particular species of probiotics. Again, we have everybody agreeing on it. Oregano, banana, Lactarium, pulses, etc. So where we have lots of 4s, it means that these are things you should be taking. The relative weight is here, which is trying to compensate, because, for example, we're dealing with 100 different bacteria we're trying to adjust. Some of them could be adjusted in the right way, some of them could be adjusted in the wrong way. Overall, we figured 70 are going to be adjusted in the right way, 5 could be adjusted in the wrong way. So we probably should go with it because it is probably going to be a improvement. These numbers aren't quite exactly that, but they are an indicator of how strong the confidence we have of the change, not necessarily how much, but confidence in that it will cause a change. Okay, so we are there. We have a ton of other features on the site, and what you have there is some learning curve, but the basic thing is very straightforward. Upload it, go to change microbiome samples, select your criteria. These three are my usual. You could go and pick any of the others. You could say, okay, I'm only interested in things which are high or interested in things which are low, and do that. Again, people have different assumptions. I don't know which assumption is correct. My goal is to give you the ability to run with what you believe is best. My own best choice for things is run these three: standard, box plot, and Carta of Malta. If you have a very friendly doctor, you may want to do everything. And then citations, inferred basically happens because we don't have all the studies we want, so we make inferences, up or down, and we have everything. We also have something new called synthetic citations, which is still a work in progress, so I won't go into that yet. Do that, look at the consensus. You could do a simple consensus download suggestion, which extract a thin slice of it, and you will get a download, or you can view the basket here, and you can do a download. Both of those downloaded in a CSV format, which will load into Excel automatically. So let's take a look at this one. And what we have here, I'll expand that out, is a short list of hand-picked things from one of the groups I'm working with, things to do, to avoid, or take. And okay, this is the consensus that shows everything. This is a big list. Download it so you can go and do whatever you want with it locally rather than having to go back up to the website. And now we do simple suggestions. And simple suggestions pop up. And we again expand out. And what it says is take. And if we have information on dosages, it's listed right there. So it's all in one page. First of all, probiotics, which ones you should take, and the ones which are not taken, you should avoid. Some we don't have information on dosages yet in time. Hopefully that will be added. And then we have other things such as prebiotics, which ones you should go for. And then medication, which could be done. Many of these are either common or typical for certain conditions. And then we have the vitamins, which ones you should or should not. One thing to watch out for is don't assume a B complex is good. You may want specific B vitamins, not all of them. And then we have other supplements, which are common supplements people consider taking. Go down through the list and see, and you get some idea of the dosages you should be having a day for all of them. Again, everything should be checked or reviewed by your MD or other medical professional before you start it. Some of the things suggested may conflict with medications you're doing or with your medical condition. So it's important to get them reviewed and not just to go off and do it. And there's all sorts of qualifications. So all this does is give you suggestions to start discussing with your MD on what may or may not help, and don't need to take everything. What it does, it gives you a list of things that could help. So if you do half of them, you're good. You don't have to do all of them. It's not a dramatic protocol to be done. It is suggestions. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and hopefully get subtitles on this and even some Spanish footnotes.